ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदां तदान्तेश्वरदां देवं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सर्वनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी क्षमां सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गंगरति वाचालं पंगुमुलमायते कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरुनाथारणं परमात्मानं श्रीचन्द्रेश्वरम् ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपक्षाय भद्राय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नमस्ते सरस्वती भगवान प्रचारणे देवश्री पश्चात्य दिशतारिणे। Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8, text number 35. Dhruva Uvacha Soyam Samo Bhagavata Soyam Samo Bhagavata Sukha Dukkha Hatatmana Sukha Dukkha Hatatmana Darsitah Kripaya Pumsam Darsitah Kripaya Pumsam Durdarshosmad Vidaistuya Durdarshosmad Vidaistuya Durdarshosmad Vidaistuya Dhruvacha Soyam Samo Bhagavata Sukha Dukkha Atmatmana Darsitah Kripaya Pumsam Durdarshosmad Vidaistuya
Dhruvacha Soyam Samo Bhagavata Hatatmanam Darshita Kripaya Pumsam Durdarshosmad Vidhastuyam
Dhruva Uvacha Bhagavata Sukha Dukkha Hatatmanam Darshita Kripaya Pumsam Durdarshosmad Vidhestuya
Dhruvacha Dhruva Maharaj said, Saha, that I am this Samaha, equilibrium of mind, Bhagavata, by your Lordship, Sukha Dukkha, happiness and miseries, Ata Atmanam, those who are affected,
affected.
darsitaha,
Darsita,
shown,
show,
kripaya,
Praya,
by mercy,
by mercy,
pumsam,
Pumsa,
of the people,
of the people,
durdarshaha,
Durgasa,
very difficult to perceive,
very difficult to perceive.
asmat vidai,
Asma,
by persons like us, too, but, yeah, whatever you have said, translation based on this is Bhaktan Samshila Prabhupada ki. Dhruva Maharaj said, my dear Lord Naraji, for a person whose heart is disturbed by the material conditions of happiness and distress, what are you so kindly explained for attainment of peace of mind is certainly a very good instruction. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm covered by ignorance, and this kind of philosophy does not touch my heart. There are various classes of men. One class is called akamis, referring to those who have no material desire. Desire must exist, either material or spiritual. Material desire arises when one wants to satisfy one's personal senses. One who is ready to sacrifice anything to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be said to have spiritual desire. Dhruva did not accept the instruction given by the great saint Narada because he thought himself unfit for such instruction, which prohibited all material desires. It is not a fact, however, that those who have material desires are prohibited from worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the essential instruction from the life of Dhruva. He frankly admitted that his heart was full of material desires. He was very much affected by the cruel words of his stepmother, whereas those who are spiritually advanced do not care about anyone's condemnation or adoration. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that persons who are actually advanced in spiritual life do not care for the dual behavior of this material world. But Dhruva Maharaj frankly admitted that he was not beyond the affliction of material distress and happiness. He is confident that the instruction given by Narada was valuable, yet he could not accept it. The question raised here is whether or not a person afflicted by material desires is fit to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The answer is that everyone is fit to worship Him. Even if one has many material desires to fulfill, you should take to Krishna consciousness and worship the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is so merciful that he fulfills everyone's desires. Through this narration, it will become very clear that no one is barred from worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even if one has many material desires. I neither have any qualification nor do have any realization. Practically, I seek blessings of all the devotees. So, very interesting, scenario here. Ruvacha Swayam Samo Bhagavata Sukadukka Sahatatmanam Darsita Kripaya Pumsam Durdarshosmad Videstayaha. So, human life is actually meant for self-realization. Our presence in this world is very temporary in this body, you know. So, one should endeavor for that ultimate goal of life. Because at any point of time, this body can be taken out. It took a very long time for me to understand, but one day I understood. My connection to this world is this body. What is your connection to this world? This body. What is your connection to your family? This body, not mind. You know, once the body is removed, you'll be in a state of sleep for a long time. You'll not know anything actually. So your connection to your office is this body. Your connection to this entire world is this body actually. but which is nothing but 26 bones, blood, flesh, and marrow. Of course, subtle body is there, and it is working by the will of Krishna. It will work only for some time, and when you give rest to the body, because soul is carrying the body whole day, so you need rest. When you sleep, you don't know anything. So, but when you want to get up again, you need the help of Paramatma. If Paramatma doesn't wake up, alarm will not work. If Paramatma is willing to wake you up, then only alarm works. So here, it mentioned many times, 10% what happens in your life is 10% what happens, and 90% how you respond to your life. And here, small boy, um, a small boy, so he was very affected by the words, that tender heart couldn't take it, Ideally, we should be free from all these things, but really, we are not. Yes or no, we are affected. And that is a proof actually, mm, we are we are not impersonal, we have feelings. When Varahadev was lifting earth, Hiranyaksha was speaking all the bad words, and it pained his heart. So Prabhupada mentions there, God is sentient. He has senses, he has feelings, not like that. He's not a rock when it rains. So because we are his part and parcels, we also have feelings. But thing is because Supreme Lord is above three modes, his feelings are different from our feelings. Our feelings are impelled by the modes. Our feelings are impelled by moods. If you're in Tamagun, we react in one way. Rajogun, we react in another way. Satogun, we react in another way. So, um, coming to the purport, akama sarva kamava moksha kama udarade tivrena bhakti yogena yujeta purusham param. Whether you have so many desires, sarva kama, you have no desire, or you have the desire for liberation, perform bhakti intensely. Tivrena bhakti yogena yujeta purusham param. You'll attain the perfection. You'll get your desire satisfied. In third canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Swayambhu Manu lived for a very long time. There, Srila Prabhupada writes, this material world is a place where we can satisfy our desires. At the same time, we can attain the perfection. Perfection of going back to Godhead. Perfection of attaining the love of God and going back to Godhead. So Swayambhu Manu performed bhakti in a very wonderful family setting. He lived in opulence. His children were very affluent, but they are very connected to bhakti. They are very connected to bhakti. So parents have the moral responsibility to give bhakti to children. This Mahaprabhu, he made a statement. He passed away a couple of years ago. A very powerful High Court lawyer, Mumbai High Court lawyer. If you eat anything and everything, for example, if you eat anything, if you eat onion garlic, your children eat anything and everything. Always this world is degradation only. So if you bring one step down, the next generation will bring one more step down. One more step down, one more step down. The rulers of America are very good people actually. Jefferson, Washington, they are very nice people. But unfortunately, it was this unlike India, America was not guided by Ved Shastras. There were no Shastras. They're very wonderful, Lincoln. But because they were not guided by Shastra, scriptures were not there. Scriptures were not there. So Their maximum thing is give charity, help. When somebody opens the door, say thank you, gratitude. Nice, nice, very nice. Then what happens when the thing is not there? Then the degradation. So, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yoga Purusha Parama. But here, very interesting. Material desire arises when one wants to satisfy one's personal senses. That is our problem actually. Senses are always looking for sensual pleasure. Senses are always looking for sense objects. Material desire, when the moment the senses see something, I want it. Mind is material. Mind fully supports it. Go ahead. If intelligence is material, then your life is ruined. Intelligence becomes a slave to support the demands of mind and senses. Cheating, all the all the wrong things. Because mind means only one thing, sensual enjoyment. That's it. Mental enjoyment. And we speak left and right lies. Very weak intelligence, mind will take a full control. End result is dissatisfaction. So, if you are dissatisfied after the class, take a pen and paper and write it down. In that episode or in that thing, in the event, you definitely don't want Krishna. There is no Krishna in that. There is no Krishna in that. Either your senses want something or your mind wants something. Or intelligence, faulty intelligence wants something. And very interestingly, your ego wants something. When, devotees, let us not talk about outsiders. Devotees, we are trying for a while, we have been trying to control our mind and senses by practicing Bhakti Yoga. When the mind, the intelligence is being purified, mind is being purified, intelligence is getting stronger and stronger day by day. When senses demand, intelligence can say, hey, this is nonsense, don't do it. When mind says something, intelligence can say, don't do it. But when intelligence demands, then, like for example, you are distributing everyone gulab jamun. You as a prasadam server, you have to distribute, you have to give one to everyone because they're not enough. But when you decide, I want to keep this many aside for myself, nobody is there to stop you. Yes or no? Much more wonderful than this is when authorities want to keep a person who told you to distribute gulab jamuns. So they say, not many people are not, there are so many people that are not gulab jamuns, not many gulab jamuns are there. They say, don't worry. I mean, anyway, these are not enough for everybody. Ada aap lo, ada main leta. That is ego. When ego shows the desire, intelligence cannot find out. When ego presents it, ego gives all the n number of reasons why you should do it. But there is no Krishna in that. There is no Krishna in that. What is the end result? Tiny happiness leading to prolonged misery. Tiny happiness leading to prolonged misery. And we can apply actually Bhagavatam, whether it is Dakshagnya or whichever stories, we can very nicely correlate actually. Dakshagnya, problem between father-in-law and son-in-law. And between son became victim, daughter became a victim. But she also contributed. So Bhagavatam, these wonderful stories, exemplary wonderful stories are given so that how we can lead our lives to perfection. That is what is taught. He's telling Narji, you are telling all these wonderful things, but I cannot. I lived in temple setting for more than 2 decades now. You know, so when problem comes, A and B are managers and temple residents. Prabhu ji, aisa karo, no, sorry, done. This person goes back. He fully agrees. And if he is somewhat a Tamo or Rajo, he continues his service. But while doing service, how can he say this? How can he say this? The mind keeps on eating. How can he say this? And once the race, everything is over, people managers think it's solved. This person comes back. How can you say this? Prabhu, it is over, right? No, how can you say this? It means that person doesn't have spiritual strength to subdue the mind. And you have to be very careful with that person, draw lines. You don't cross, you don't let others cross. This story is present in Bhagavatam for one reason. Actually, when somebody is in Tamoguna, or I cannot say Tamoguna, somebody in moods, it takes very long time. Takes very long time. But why the story is here? Why Ajamil story? Ajamil story? There are n number of reasons why Ajamil story is there. That's the first time Yamadutas and Vishnudutas are meeting. Otherwise, they never met. So likewise, why is this story present? First of all, this boy is a child, 5-year-old. Second thing, he was very affected. Third thing, he's telling, Guru is testing him. And he's telling Prabhupada writes, he frankly is admitting. He frankly admitted his heart is full of desire, was full of his material desires. But he attained perfection in 6 months. Amazing, right? So what is the moral? Don't worry, you have so many material desires, no problem. Just continue. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajata purusha param. If you have greed, no problem. You have lust, no problem. You have envy, no problem. Continue bhakti. There is somebody before you. You attain perfection. 6 months you attain perfection. 6 months. So what you have to do? He has a determination. Same thing you also apply in your life. Don't worry. Sometimes people say, I'm tormented by lust. Common thing that we hear. I'm tormented by envy. Don't worry. But of course, if we have all these qualities, we are holding both the brakes and riding the cycle. Some of you have the experience in India, or even if you hold both the brakes loosely and you drive, the cycle goes very slowly because you're holding. So likewise, when you practice bhakti with all the impurities, it goes slowly. So who is stopping yourself? Who is stopping you? You ourselves. But it is not a disqualification. Krishna says, I have no problem. You go to school for what? Because you don't have education. You come to bhakti for what? Because of impurity. Sometimes people think, I have so much impurity. Hey, that's why you're here. So, because you have impurity, you should not go to club. You should not go to bar and pub and bar and restaurant. You have impurity, come here. Get purified. But one thing, Shraddha Mulya Sudhana, he didn't call Narada Muni. Very interesting. Narada Muni himself came. Parampara is continuing. So what is that? Nityananda Prabhu is opening uh, this market he's opening a shop in selling Harinam. What is the price? Shraddha. With all the impurities. So when you go to shopkeeper will not ask any questions. You have money, he'll take it. And he'll give you the product. He will not say your heart is pure or not. Today is Ekadasi or Dwadasi. They will sell only on these days. No. The moment you pay the price, they'll give the product. So what is the price here? Shraddha. Sincerity. What is the price? Sincerity. But yesterday I made a point. You should not be sincere only in the mornings during Bhagavatam class. Bhagavatam is for Paramahamsas. So I am a Paramahamsa. Yesterday I mentioned this yesterday night. In the evening, once you leave and go home, I am Paramahimsa. I'll give like this. That is wrong. You are totally neutralizing actually. Should expect, Krishna expects the same behavior. So you become angry, then you ask for apologies. Then go forward. It's very important. Otherwise, what happens? You'll have a face, one face to devotees as a very exalted devotee. You have another face to somebody else. You know, I'm talking to myself, I'm honest. Then the success will be very slow. No, we all have control. We are all, I mean, at least I'm talking to myself, conditioned soul. So sometimes there's a slip of tongue, ask for forgiveness and go forward. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. I'm honest. You're seriously wasting your time. So, but I want to make a point here. What is that? Desires, having material desires will not hamper you to perform bhakti, but will not stop you to perform bhakti, but definitely they'll slow down your bhakti. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, they speaks on two things, Anishchita Bhakti, Nishchita Bhakti. There he mentions 5 topics, 5 different types of Anishchita Bhakti, unsteady Bhakti. If you don't have these 5 things, your Bhakti is steady. You want to know what it is? Utsahamayi Bhakti. Utsahamayi Bhakti means suddenly people will come. Morning 6 o'clock they're here, afternoon they were there, evening also 9 o'clock. Sudden enthusiasm, so much, Prabhu, I can do it, terrible. Oh, thank you, amazing. Can I come every day? Please. Why not? Yeah, don't give that suggestion to anybody. I will only do it. For next 2 months, they'll disappear. Next 2 months, you don't see them. Oh, you're not there. I know I want to, but this reason. But they come and do service again 1-2 days. But next 6 months, they're not there. So they have a desire, but for various reasons. It's like a, what do you call that? If you take some B12 injection, then you get a lot of energy. It will work only for 2-3 some time, and then you will become weak. That's called utsamahi, sudden enthusiasm. And then they don't, for various reasons, they don't appear. Second thing, ghanatarala. Ghanatarala means they have enthusiasm, but they have lethargy also. What is that? They have enthusiasm, they have lethargy also. Even if they are in the temple, one day very attentive, very attentively chatting, next day. So it's a combination of enthusiasm and lethargy. The previous one, how it is different? Previous one, very high amount of enthusiasm, but आदमी गायब हो जाता है. But this one, आदमी गायब नहीं हो जाता है. But enthusiasm is there, lethargy is there. Enthusiasm. So one day Mangalarti, 2 days missing. One day Mangalarti, 2 days missing. The previous case, one day Mangalarti, 6 months absent. Third one is Vyuta Vikalpa. Vyuta Vikalpa means doubtful. Such mein Krishna is there. I got initiated, but really Krishna is there or what? Really I'm a spiritual or what? I can see many people are leaving the world, that's okay. But So, one way or other, sometimes this side, sometimes this side. Should I join full time or should I get married? Should I stay here or go to Atlanta? Should I go back to India? Should I stay in America? You know, should I do Ekadasi fasting or should I not do Ekadasi fasting? Doubtful. This more actually, it is more philosophical. You doubt the process. You doubt the process. Somewhere in the corner of the heart, you are a little doubtful. For that reason, even though you have a lot of energy, still you put one leg on the material in the material world also. Anything goes wrong, let me have another leg there also. This is Yoda Vikalpa. Next one is Vishaya Sangara. Your senses are on fire. You know, they are telling you control this, control this, control this, control this. Stop this, stop this, stop this. Stop going to temple. And all the problems will be solved. Instead of stopping all the things, there are many people like that. I'm honest with you. I know. Sometimes I see them. They drop the Mataji and they don't come inside. अंदर जाने का नहीं actually. These guys have such so serious restrictions. But definitely ceremoniously they come one day. What is that? Janmashtami time. Janmashtami time will be there. Full service. When will you come again? Next Janmashtami. So, because, sir, body is given to enjoy. But you're also suffering, right? They cannot connect the suffering with enjoyment. Most of the people, they can't do that. It took a very long time for me. This is the thing that is giving me this suffering. This is the thing that it took long time. Very long time. Even still, it's not very clear, but somewhat clear. Internal tug of war with mental sense enjoyment. So when they are with the devotees, amazing. But they are more with outsiders. The moment Bhakti Risha class is over, Prabhu, you know what's happening in the Trump? Immediately they start. That flight thing. So because mind is saturated. That's what's called Vishesh Sangara. Next one is a Niyamakshama. Niyamakshama means, you take vows. This Kartik, only one time eating. Everyone takes in your group. You will also take. That is last only one day. Yesterday, बढ़ गया आ रहा है मुश्किल है. I'm just giving prasad, so many vows. I'll chant, this many rounds. Only one day, and after that. So, we take vows, but we'll not be able to carry. Also, for various reasons, because we don't have a firm faith in this entire thing, full justice is not done. That's called Niyamaksham. Niyamas todte hain actually. The last one, Taranga Rangini. I'm gonna, Tarangas. Tarangas means waves. Waves means, they are telling all these things in the Bhagavatam class. बोलना उनका कर्तव्य है, फॉलो नहीं करना हमारा कर्तव्य. You follow, it's your duty to tell. It is our duty not to follow. But when I'm in the temple, I'm a pure devotee. The moment I go outside, I need a jacket because it's cold outside. Likewise, I need a separate another what do you call it? And it's true with brahmacharis. It's true with everyone actually. No, I'm not segregating. So, of course, I'm giving up all these things, but attachment to wealth, attachment to adoration, profit, distinction. थोड़ा नाम तो आना चाहिए. Facebook, 3 million followers. This means everything, balance. You have to balance, Prabhu. It should not be too extreme, in bhakti. If you go so deep, you cannot. So when you six qualities of anischita bhakti, unsteady bhakti, they will, their bhakti becomes a little slackened. Now it is up to the audience. You don't have all these things, you have all these things, you are one or two or nothing is there, it's up to you. You know? So, um, um, but very interesting is, even if you have desires, as Prabhupada is writing here, nobody is barred from executing bhakti. I mean, performing bhakti. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritano arjuna artama jignasa nardharthi jnane cha pratasya. Krishna is not telling they are pure devotees. But sukritano arjuna, pious people. Arto, Gajendra, distressed. Gajendra approached Krishna because he was distressed. Jignasu, the sages of Naimisharanya headed by Saunaka Rishi, they are inquisitive. They are not pure devotees, but they are inquisitive. Ardhardi Dhruva. Dhruva approached Krishna for money. Sometimes, actually, I want to die always, it took a long time for me, but anything you want, your mind will be like, when you first thing is a desire. Second thing is you feel it. I think I should have it. Third thing, then you will will it. When you will it, calm has a powerful energy. It prakamam kamadi. This is when manasiksha. Then chalo. Your life up to that point goes slowly. But when you decide something, then you put your vehicle 100-mile speed. Are ye karna hai, wo karna hai, wo karna. And you make schedule and you put yourself to achieve that. So when the karma, when the desire, you want to acquire, achieve something, it will release high amounts of energy. With that energy, you work very hard. Karma has that power. But the same thing Prabhupada is writing here, Bhagavatam. We have to ask only one question. One who is ready to sacrifice anything to satisfy Supreme Personality of Godhead can be said to have spiritual desire. But if Krishna is not there, authority is not there, it means it is karma. Ladies and gentlemen, with experience I'm telling you, it will give you mixed result. It will give you mixed result. A portion you'll enjoy, a portion you don't like, you'll get it and suffer. It will bring suffering. That is the problem with Rajo. But you all see yourself. It is not like coming to Mangalarti, eating, chanting rounds and going home. But when you decide, there is an explosion of Prakam, Kama, that's I forgot the verse in Manasiksha. You push yourself earth and heaven. And but you devotees also can do the same thing for Krishna. Prabhupada. Many is all the gurus. But when it is fully for Krishna, Krishna knows that at the end, Krishna has to sanction. Yashodamai is also determined. She is working also. But it is 100% for Krishna. She is sweating also. Malti flowers were falling down. She said, I will bite him. She also has a lot of energy released in her body. Yeah, it is prema, not kama. Then Krishna's, So why I'm telling that is, Dhruva Maharaj with all the impure desires, this is a determination. He was eating leaves first month itself. Much determination. But initially, it was, he came with the purpose of material desire, kama. But it is meant for the Supreme Lord. Actually, very interestingly, Satyuga, this is Ashtanga Yoga. He approached the Dhyana Yoga. But he did it for Krishna. That's why it became bhakti. That's why it has got place in Bhagavatam. Yat karoshi yadasnas yat juhus dadasyat yat tapasya kaunteya tat kurush madapam. He attained the Supreme Lord through other way, not this way. And one point he stood on one leg. You know, Hiranyakashipu did also same thing, but for his material thing, Alkama. At the end, he was killed, bro. You know, he was very what is that? Fiercely, he was killed. Supreme Lord came in his most frightening form. But here, he did the same thing. There, he 2 legs and the toes, but here, 1 leg. And what Hiranyakashipu couldn't do, he did it. What he did is stopped the breath actually. Oh. Purity, child, right? No, no, except that one desire. So uh, if you do anything, I mean, shastrically positive, for the pleasure of Krishna, and Krishna is satisfied, why not? Tivrena bhakti yogena, you know. So, uh, he admitted frankly, actually, what works for us for our success is admit frankly what our weakness is. You can write it down. I have this, I have this, I have this. One should not be hypocritical with himself. You should not think yourself what others think of you. No. We are what we know about ourselves. Einstein says those success people, they know their weaknesses, they know their strengths more than anybody. They know themselves. I have this my weakness. Plug it. This is my strength, enhance it. But others are thinking like this, that is what you are thinking, you're wrong. You know what you are. A real honest person has a perfect assessment for himself or herself. But then do sadhana and eventually you'll receive the blessings. These are the few thoughts that came to my mind. You know, um, anyone wants to add anything? Otherwise, we'll end it.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you can now. Could you please quickly repeat what you said about the types of, and like the first one was enthusiasm, then second one you get lazy. I couldn't catch all of them.
Okay. First one is sudden enthusiasm called Utsahamahi. Second thing is called, these are all the aspects of unsteady bhakti, anischita bhakti. First one is Utsahamahi, sudden enthusiasm. Second one is Ghanatarala, enthusiasm plus lethargy. And sometimes you're enthusiastic, sometimes lethargy. Third one is Vyoda Vikalpa, means doubtful, doubtful about the process. This way or that way, unable to decide. Also doubtful. Fourth one is Vishaya Sangara, internal tug of war with material sense enjoyment. Lot of senses are on fire. So for that reason, you're unable to perform bhakti to the extent you want to do. The fifth one is Niyamakshama. You're unable to take the vow, you're unable to follow the vows that you have taken. Niyamakshama, that is Niyamakshama. For that reason, you don't do full justice to to the bhakti. The last one is Tarangarangani, attachment to wealth, adoration, profit, distinction. Okay. Emma?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Thank you.
Anyone wants to add anything? Any question? Yes.
Thank you for a lot of insights. I was thinking, Dhruv Maharaj, though the intervention of Narada Muni is there, he attained the Vaikuntha Loka. So, can we say ultimately it ultimately boils down to individual, even after intervention of a pure devotee, what kind of relationship he develops with the Lord?
Last line, repeat again. The introduction of pure devotee, I got it. What kind of relationship? The question is
Does
actually,
it also, it seems like it also depends on the individual who is practicing bhakti,
obviously.
what kind of relationship he wants to establish.
Muktirhitvanita rupam swarupani asti. You have a swarupa, sir. Your swarupa, what is mukti? Being situated in your original constitutional position. You have a swarupa that is covered today. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhika Punaya Sravanada Siddhachit Koriye Uday. So that swarupa is there that you do not know. So unfurling or revealing it, or not revealing is not a good word. Realizing it is mukti. So Guru will give you instructions. One time Srila Prabhupada told, Prabhupada was speaking, Guru's mercy. One day he said, Prabhupada, I need your mercy. Prabhupada said, my mercy is there. Prabhupada, I need your mercy. Prabhupada said, my mercy is there for my disciples. Prabhupada, I need your mercy. Prabhupada said, you are in the well, and Guru throws the rope of instructions. You have to hold on to the rope of instructions until Guru pulls you out. Guru's mercy doesn't mean he'll come and make you curl your fingers around the rope. You have to hold the instructions until he pulls you out. Guru will not make you come and hold you and pull you. You have to, so 50% Guru has a role, disciple also has a role. So Narada Muni, what he is doing, he came and gave, without even asking, he came and he gave the mantra and he told him. Actually, Narada Muni's instructions are amazing. He said, go to Madhuban. Second thing, you worship a deity. You are adopting a process of Ashtanga Yoga. Narada Muni, Narada Muni is actually like a, what is that? He added a Bhakti Yoga. You worship deity. And you practice this in Madhuban. And third thing, you meditate on Ashtanga, you're doing it, but meditate on the pastimes of Supreme Lord. It is like a, what do you call, Vicks Action 500. There used to be a tablet called in India Vicks. Then what happened? They added Action 500 also. Another portion. So they said first one will cure your headache, but second one will cure fever also. So likewise, he is coming with Ashtanga because that is the time of thing. Narada Muni had Bhakti Yoga. His whole process is Ashtanga, but he also meditated on Supreme Lord. He also worshipped the deity. That too in Madhuban, Vrindavan. Haribol. That's why he attained perfection. So Guru came and told him what to do, and Guru, of course, gave full blessings. Means Guru cleared his way. Path is paved. This Rasta GPS is aisa jao. But you have to drive. And end result is what is your desire and self-realization, great. Then this is your spiritual form. So that is how Guru's his role is this, and the disciple role is this. And so, for example, in that, if you ask me a question, when I will not give you the lead there. His spiritual form is there. Actually, he wanted a planet, and he wanted something bigger than his great grandfather. He got it. But also, he saw the Supreme Lord. He saw the Supreme Lord. The beauty from previous chapter, and Prabhuji, Daksha also saw Vishnu. But after that, he offended. Dhruva did not offend anybody. That's why he went back to Godhead Prabhu. That is how Bhagavatam progression. He didn't offend anybody. He just, when he was fighting with Yakshas, was in accordance with Kshatriya Dharma. He was a king, so he wanted to, and he did that. But he was not. You don't see him being envious anywhere. But he ruled perfectly. That's why we went back to God. It was very humble. So that's why our goal of life is not liberation. Goal of life is love of God. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Many times I say in the classes, if you start practicing pure bhakti today, you are liberated today. Savanam samati tetan brahmabhuyaya kalpate mam chaya vyabhisharane bhakti yogena sevate. If you practice pure bhakti, Krishna says in Gita, you're already liberated. And what do you want then? Love of God. Kola Sridhar is telling, my Lord, I don't need anything. Krishna said, no, Sri Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, come back, spiritual world. I don't need. My Lord, don't be so agitated. He's telling, I'm very happy here. And wherever if you have that type of consciousness, you have that type of love of God, wherever you are, that is spiritual world only. Anyway, hope it answers your question. I don't know. Hope you are not wasting. I'm not wasting your time.
No. You gave lot of information there, but one thing which I was just thinking about it, Narada Muni can take him back to Golokunda, but he ended up going in when again.
I want to add here, bro. Thank you. I got it. Because let me tell you this. It all depends on your mood. You want to worship the Lord in our reverence, you'll go there. You want to worship the Lord in a very intimate way, then here. That is the choice. So Narada Muni told Gopakumar, you don't belong here, you belong there. You cannot be happy here, udhar jao. You got my point or not? But for Dhruva's constitutional position is here. That's why Dhruva is sitting there. This is a special prerogative for Lord Chaitanya and his devotees because of the combination of Radha and Krishna, Radharani. Otherwise, we don't see that anywhere. Okay, that's what happened. Anyone wants to add anything? Yes.
This question is on nature of karma, what you said today. You said that this karma has a power to release energy. So I want to understand that, like, three categories we can see. Yashoda Mai was global, right? She's working hard, and Malti flowers, for him. It looked like she's working hard for Krishna. And even the second category is, full-time temple residents. They are working hard for Krishna. So while working outside, how we can make sure that this is the energy released by karma, or really, because there is authority, you said Krishna and authority should involve in order to check that whether this is real bhakti. And sometimes in Grahastha life, we plan for updating skill set at the end of the year so that our job will continue for next year. So many things happen and we think this checklist is going on, and we think we satisfy us with the checklist. Aaj itna ho gaya kaam, chalo. And it doesn't relate to Krishna, but it may affect your tomorrow's sadhana. So how we can make sure that this is not arise from lust, and it is, adding to bhakti, complementary to bhakti.
Prabhuji, you had one line, even temple residents also, still it's always a choice. You are doing for Krishna or you are doing for yourself. Then if you are doing for yourself, it is lust. Not that, just because you are present in the temple doesn't mean anything. We all go to take bath in Ganga. There are so many fish in Ganga. They will all go back to Godhead or what? Yes or no? Motive is very important. Fish they took birth for them like any other water, but they don't know the greatness of Ganga. So that's a portion of the going back to your question. Question is how to make sure when you are speaking. I went back to read this one line. One who is ready to sacrifice anything to satisfy Supreme Personality of Godhead can be said to have spiritual desire. So you can by 2-3 questions when you ask, or in the association of senior devotees, you'll come to know what type of desire it is. But I want to add here, it's some which out Bhagavad Gita I forgot. Prabhupada mentions in every endeavor there is a fault. Especially I'm talking about outside endeavors, material world. In every endeavor, there's a fault. Just because when you light the fire, smoke will come for a long time. You should not hesitate to, start the fire. Smoke will come. So don't worry, rather than thinking this is lust or love, this, I'll do it only pure love. Then we probably have to wait another 20, 30, 40 years. That's why Prabhupada said, Prachar is also, we are doing Prachar for our purification. Not that as preacher is liberated soul like Sukadeva Goswami. I am doing preaching, but when I preach, I also listen. I'm speaking to myself. You're understanding or not? So rather than becoming so pinpointed and particular whether it's lust or love, there may be some impurity around it. But if you continue it, you'll be purified. But continue doing it. Outside people are throwing stones to get the attain. We should throw the same stone 10 times more powerful because we are doing it for pleasure of Krishna. But if the desire is not pure, I told in the middle, you'll get a mixed result. Everyone is appreciating, but you get up another portion that you don't want and you suffer also. Understanding it? So, but the checklist is definitely, if your intelligence is sufficiently purified, you'll know whether you are doing it for your self-aggrandizement or you're really doing it for Krishna. You will know. You may convince the whole world, but one person you cannot. Paramatma in the inside. And since your consent, you know. But even if it is mixed motives, if you genuinely endure for it, probably Dhruva went to, this is the story actually, today's story. Dhruva went with the material desire. But when he was returning home, he was very sad. And even after seeing the Supreme Lord, my anger on my stepmother didn't subside. That's why he was unhappy. Even after seeing him, that's why seeing my impurity, Supreme Lord, he gave me what he gave me. He gave me the planet. He was unhappy actually. But of course, Krishna is Krishna, so you rule the kingdom for one kalpa, 36,000 years, with no disease, death. Then you come back. Wow. If you're a very responsible son, father gives you the entire business to you when you're ready. I was looking for somebody who's very responsible like that. Dhruva. Dhruva became like that. Sure, you become the emperor. What is Hare Krishna mantra? Engage me in your service. Recently, it came to my mind. Engage me in your service, engage me in your service. Sometimes we don't even meditate on that. So you go and tell the President of America, please engage me if you're genuinely standing before capital L and say, engage me in your service, engage me in your service. Then he'll say, I've become a secretary. He has so many positions. He is very big, right? If he sees you're honest, can he engage you or not? Simple thing. All right, you become secretary for what is that? Software division of entire America. If you're a software engineer. So likewise, you're telling Krishna, my Lord, engage me. When Krishna finds you sincere, it's very easy for Krishna to engage. Krishna cannot engage outsiders. Krishna will engage only devotees. That's why for every devotee, future is very bright. Tatyan Kampam. How many of you agree? But only thing, we should not do mixed bhakti. We should not do mixed bhakti. Krishna said, my Lord Radharan says, engage him. He is very good, but sometimes it becomes difficult. That's how managers think actually. I want to, but the other problem will come. No, but he is very good. One of the qualities Daksha, 12th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Anapeksha Suchira Daksha. That verse is there. So you're understanding? And that's why. Does it answer your question? So, if you're genuinely sincere, you can actually check whether it's calm or still whatever, a little bit here and there, that's okay. Just because it's not 100% pure, someone has to do service. Sometimes people say, Babji are not qualified. For doing service, everyone is qualified. Whatever service, please, everyone is qualified. Yes, Prabhu. Uh, uh,
So,
So the question is this, Prabhu. Like in other verse, in other areas, it is said that even if one is needing help with money and so on, it is better to worship Krishna rather than ask. It is better to worship ask Krishna rather than ask anybody else. So, but at what point this needs to stop? Like for instance, there is a constant need. There is constant distress in this material world for a conditioned soul, and there is constant need of some kind of money is needed for this, that, this. But at some point of time, one needs to, like how a child constantly wants something. In the same way, when should we make the thing like, okay, let's not ask anything from the Lord, and even though that understanding is there that the Krishna is the ultimate benefactor and the ultimate grantor of all of anything, independent of our karma, finally he's granting. So when we how to stop it and how to not stop it artificially.
As soon as you have that realization, not theory, you can stop it. But as long as it's theory, you can ask. If you ask, Krishna will only give that. If you don't ask, maybe Krishna will give more. One time, we all went to South India. Devotees asked, what should we pray for? When they said, Lord Chaitanya installed this Jagannath Balsudharma in Venkatapata. There it is said, anything you pray, it will happen. So we have people, devotees came to us, what should we pray for? Because, whatever you prayed, if it is wrong, I said, Namruchi Divadev Vaishnava Seva. And one more thing, my Lord, whatever is best for me, give me. That's the best prayer, because we don't know what is best for us, honestly speaking. So that's why my answer is very simple. Until you have that realization, the day you have that realization, honestly speaking, when you're convinced that Sambandha Gyan, Krishna is my benefactor. Forget about other outsiders, especially for devotees actually. So I don't need to. Krishna will take care of me. But then what happens is sometimes the situation is in emergency, like there is an emergency. Then we forget that and we ask. That means our faith is conditioned.
A lot of things feels like emergencies.
That's what I'm telling. What I said, we don't have, so we have a feeling only if we ask, Krishna will give. That, we have that conviction. We don't have that conviction, Krishna will give even without asking, that's why until we have that realization, we can keep on asking. Honestly, I'll tell you, I have seen these ISKCON gurus. One person came to Gopal Krishna Maharaj and said, Maharaj, today is your, I think his birthday or something, what can I do for you? So, anything I can do for you, please. Sure. Maharaj, anything I'll do, just for you. Distribute 10,000 Bhagavad Gitas. How many? 10,000 Bhagavad Gitas. I don't know how much it costs, altogether. 10,000 into how much?
200.
Into 200 means how much money? So 200, 10,000. Huh?
200.
So his desire to please Prabhupada in terms of book distribution is so high. So he is able to distribute 10,000 Bhagavad Gita in one shot. What an empowerment. So, honestly speaking, there are so many examples. I can tell you many in private. That many examples I have. It is because we don't see that Krishna sent that much. So we are in the constant distress. Actually, you were a little late today, as you said. You write down, I said in the class, I write down all the problems. There is no Krishna in that problem, actually. I am the center. I am the center of the universe. I am the center. And in this, the point you mentioned, most of the time there is Atidya Bhautika. There is another person involved. 60-70% actually there is some. Maybe more. It is not like I'm feeling cold weather. That may be there, little percentage. Most of the problems that you write down, it's actually atibhautika. There is somebody who is stopping you or putting brakes uh, in what you want to achieve. It's most of the time, it's somebody. So it's happening by Krishna's grace, of course, your karma also. And more than anything, I am the center of the universe. And that's why Krishna arranges that. Only to rectify that problem. But the problem is we are the pursuers. Krishna, you do my way. Krishna says, I'll do my way, not your way. No, you do my way. Then what happens is, it's a problem. I'm serious. Just note down all the problems. Majority are actually atibhautika. That bothers us. Adhyatmika is definitely there. Mind. Mind is also, it's because of this bhautika only. Adhyatmika misery is because somebody's. And what is the main thing? I am the control. I am the doer. I am actually Ishwaroham Ambogi. That verse is in Bhagavad Gita. So I am the Ishvara. Krishna is telling you are not. I am talking to myself. So, and when we are the center of the universe, then we are theoretically we are convinced this is important. But somewhere, we have very little, or no is wrong. We have little faith. Leave it on Krishna. That is, then we make a lot of progress in bhakti. Anyone else? Yes, bro.
Give an example of Daksha. Daksha also had audience of Krishna and he had praise of. So my question is, after attaining prema only, then once
Daksha didn't attend Prem.
then
He-
Krishna will appear.
Yeah. Yes. If an intense desire, Krishna will appear. Seeing Krishna is amazing, great, because we don't, with that actually we are seeing Krishna here. Ajamil, when Yamadutas came, Vishnudutas came, Ajamil was liberated. But Ajamil didn't attain love of God. That's the reason why Vishnudutas were confused. They cannot leave him, they cannot take him. Because he was liberated. It's a very interesting thing. But finally they decided, you have not attained the love of God. Unless you attain the love of God, you cannot enter the Vaikuntha planets. They gave an extension to his visa. Stay for some more time. So likewise, you can be, that, seeing Krishna is still after that he became actually, so the entire Daksha episode happened after that actually. That's why attaining love of God is our goal of life. Shuklambar Brahmacharya, Kola Sridhar, Shivananda Sen. Practically all the people in Mahaprabhu, Bhakti Karana, Vairagya Pradhan, what is that? Lord Chaitanya associates are eternal liberated souls. Siddhas. If you understand that, what is that? Vasudeva, and his body is eaten by worms. Lord Chaitanya comes and embraces. I said, oh my Lord, thank you very much. But that's not Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vasudeva is telling, my Lord, give me that body back. We will never read this story anywhere, bro. Anywhere. Only here. Wow. When you understand this, that's how we'll continue here. Pure Bhakti. Amazing, right? Nobody would ever pray. These type of episodes. And Ramananda Rai decorating that ladies. So it happened only 500 years ago. Kali only it happened. What is their consciousness? What is Suklambar Brahmachari's consciousness? What is Kolashidar's consciousness? Kolashidar actually recently I asked Manasiksha time. So, will you all go back to Godhead? I mean, so will you all, if your impersonal liberation is given to you, will you accept it? All the devotees said, we will not accept it. Great! Amazing. At least you realize something. That's a question to all of you. You'll emerge in Brahman tomorrow. You will be given that opportunity. Will you? You are great souls.
So it depends. If someone is suffering terribly at the time, it requires a very, please forgive me about that. It's easy to say when things are going okay. For a person who is literally in like deathbed, for that person to realize this is a very high realization to actually have. Please forgive me for saying that, but I just want to say that.
Raghunath Das Goswami says, Prabhu, if you have that, you'll never come this way. If you have that consciousness, you will never, no, you will never go to further verses. This is only second verse, third verse. Shuddha Bhakti will never enter into your heart, Bhakti Devi. I mean, it's your choice. So those who want to go in the path of Bhakti, pure Bhakti, no. Actually that day, except one devotee, everyone said no. Means they understood. Lord Chaitanya, Mayavad Bhasha Hui Sarvanas. Lord Chaitanya was very unhappy. Even if he's suffering, and Mukunda story is there. Lord Chaitanya said, I'll never see you. 1 crore lifetimes. Mukunda said, 1 crore lifetimes, after that I'll see. He became ecstatic, he started dancing, I'll see, I'll see, I'll see. Wow. Hey, Lord Chaitanya wants to give right now. You know, there is a price here too. Why? I'll tell you. There are so many allegations in ISKCON. You know, still ISKCON is growing. And why? Eventually it will happen. If you go to ISKCON, you'll become a sage. Wife and husband together can become sages. They can have children, they can have career, everything, but at home you'll be a sage. Great. When everyone is so much suffering is going on, you both wife and husband, you'll be happy. Whoever is there, if they follow sincerely, they'll lead their life comfortably. I can foresee that. Not many, but temples will run because of this. One has to say no to it. No. Because this is displeasing to Lord Chaitanya. Forget about it, there is no service. If this suffering is more, the suffering is in trillion times more, there is no service. Maybe you'll go and sit down there. How very good. Next minute, what next? You're so much used to serving Krishna. Now there is no service. No service at all. Yes. No, honestly speaking, no. If that person, even if one should say no to it, that is a Gaudiya Vaishnava. That is a Vaishnava first. Gaudiya Vaishnavism higher. So that's my point.
Guruji, I was wondering about one thing, like in case of Guru Rava having
Hold on. Class ended, anyone wants to leave can leave. And yes.
So Guru Rava has many material desire,
Mm.
so how he's waiting for worship for that day. And also Yayati, he exchanged his, shamelessly, Prabhupada right, that he exchanged his youth, wanted to exchange his youth with
True.
Guru. But thing is that Shukdev Goswami talk about the path of atonement, and he said not Jnana or not even the Kunjar Sochavat, all these local, and he said only chanting the holy name. That's what I am giving this example of Ajamrin. So both of these cases, what is that happened that they are in Srimad Bhagavatam, and what is uplifted them after doing all these things? Yayati and Pururava.
Thank you, bro. Actually, Yayati and Pururava, Bhagavatam is telling, even if you are Bhagavatam story, everyone went back to Godhead, bro. That's the reason why they are there. Pururava means even if you are very lusty, even if you are very greedy, envious, if you take shelter of Krishna, you will go back to Godhead. That happened in the case of Yayati, same thing happened in the case of Pururava. Pururava, of course, Pururava attained Paramatma realization, So Yayati and Devyani, they went back to Godhead. Pururava also, if you have a Paramatma realization and you understand God is actually, Paramatma is 400 Vishnu, then you'll go back to Vaikuntha too. That way, Pururava also achieved perfection.
So this repentance work, Prabhuji, when we connect to the Lord before that repentance comes, in the case of Pururava, is that
In both the cases it came. They say it's true with the Ayati also. Ayati sits with his wife, he tells the story of the goats, 2 goats. And Pururava also regrets. Aila Gita is actually Pururava's story. In Brahmacharya class, actually, Aila Gita. He rejects this and he does sadhana. Means Bhagavatam is telling, even if you are on that level also, still Prabhu do sadhana, you'll go back to Godhead. Actually, they're very faith-giving stories, actually. Prabhu, they are not, this is Kali Yuga. One time I asked Varsana Maharaj, Kali Yuga means what? Very degraded, Prabhu. So much lust. I'm not talking about anybody, I'm talking about myself. Still, Maharaj, why this Bhagavatam and Rasa dance with gopis and all? Maharaj said, the perfect medicine for lust is love. No other medicine. Gaurav Prabhu made a nice point one time. When you go to Rasa Panchadhyay, 10:27 to 31, 31, 27, 20, 20, 30, 31, you don't see a board, adults only for adults, above 18 years. Prabhu, so what's his name? Prabhupada servant. He lives in Mayapur. Not Shrutikirti, one more.
Jayapataka Swami Maharaj.
Harishauri Prabhu.
Harishauri Prabhu. Harishauri Prabhu says they were distributing back to God at magazines with Krishna and Radharani, and the cover page is Rasalila. Means Prabhupada had full faith. Even if drug addicts read, still they'll get benefit. So they were distributing back to God at magazines with cover page, Rasadance cover page everywhere. Means Prabhupada had the faith. That's what I wanted. So anyone wants to add anything?
Truly, that I have a very fundamental question. You talked about how not to do mix bhakti. When I'm offering food to lordships just for the sake of satisfying my senses, how can I correct that?
Prabhuji, first of all, I didn't say, even if it is mixed bhakti, I said we should do it. I didn't say we should not do it. We have mixed motives. Probably day one, we are not even offering anything. But later, today I want to eat gulab jamun. So let me offer gulab jamun to Krishna and eat. That is fine too. Because you understood Krishna's Supreme Personality of Godhead, you understood the importance of prasad. But a day should come eventually, it may not be today. Whether I like it or not, I'll offer gulab jamun to Krishna. Because बहुत दिन हो गया भगवान को चढ़ाया नहीं मैंने. So I'll offer, gulab jamun offer करूँगा मैं. I don't want to eat. I heard one temple, Pune temple, whatever they cook, they don't eat, but they offer it to the Lord. So it's right, yes. It is also not right. You can eat, why not? So one devotee asked, Maharaj, so real bhakti, real chanting starts after 16 notes. Answer is yes and no. Chanting is always bhakti only. So, but the Prabhu's question is, I am chanting my 16 notes because I am supposed to do it. But after that, it is voluntary. So the answer is no. Your chanting is always bhakti only. Yes. Above 16 notes, there is no force. That is also bhakti. This is also bhakti. So today, I want to eat this, let me offer to Krishna and eat. That's fine. But eventually a day will come. Whether I like to eat or not, I'll offer to the Lord for his satisfaction, like Shivananda said, as a Raghav Pandit. So don't worry about motives. It takes time for the purification. It's a lifetime. Lord Prabhupada told Charu Prabhu, the process takes 40 years. It should not be so much, this is like a 40% mixed motive, 60% mixed motive, 70%. Sincerity is known to the individuals. It takes time. Otherwise, that person's motive is very good, is a pure devotee, then you'll become depressed also. No, don't worry. You don't compare with anybody. You compare yourself. 5 years ago, I'm better than today. I'm better than 5 years ago and today, much better than what I was before. Great. Means, after 2 years, you'll become better. After 5 years, you'll become much more better. That is positivity. For sure it will happen. How many of you agree? Thank you. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpataru Vishnu Vishnu